District 4 candidates. Ms. Chestnut.
Thank you. Yes, I support the DRI process, and the thought behind the transit-oriented or the traditional neighborhood development is density, compactness, trying to put as much development within the development so that people don't have to make trips outside of that development out onto the road network. I think with the bus rapid transit, we're looking at multimodal ways of providing transportation for the future. It all boils down to energy, gas, and saving our future resources. I think that the way to pay for it, and what we have worked out with the developers that are coming forward with the transit-oriented, which the threshold at 150 homes would be transit-oriented, and at 300 for traditional neighborhoods, is for bus rapid transit to be available. The bus rapid transit, of course, takes trips off of the road, takes cars off of the road, and hopefully people will use that. One feature that is very important and near and dear to me with the bus rapid transit system is that part of that is the implementation of Plan East Gainesville, and that will then provide the transportation for work for people from the east side of Gainesville without transportation to be able to travel along the corridor to work. So I think that it is a very innovative, a very thoughtful process that the Alachua County Commission has taken in order to address concurrency, in order to address energy conservation for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Beard.
A lot of these subjects end up becoming so entangled that we're all not even sure what kind of answers we're going to have to these. When you look at, specifically, when you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole, for mass transportation, there is a need, but we are very rural. I think we really have to take a look and see, where do we specifically need mass transportation? Where would it be best suited? And are there other alternative forms of mass transportation? I've been to a couple of conferences that talk about van pools, they talk about other different types of resources, other different types of programs that are much more cost effective. And because if you look at some of our buses are ridden by 2-3 people. Boy, you could provide a limousine service for those routes. And I think a lot of that needs to be reassessed. And if we're trying to go ahead and tell people, well, you can only live in these particular areas, that's also directing where we want people to live. We should provide it where it's needed, and then we can go ahead and get that service together. But if we provide better roads with less congestion, we have less idling, we have less people stopping and starting, and all of those things put together. I think we can put together a program that's even better than what we have right now. And funding, again, we are trying to fund everything when we have some basic needs that we have to concentrate on. So I would try and figure out some other way, some alternative, and find what is the best transportation program, period, for Alachua County.
Thank you. Some citizens think Choices has not delivered as promised to the taxpayers. Would you support another vote for extending Choices beyond its sunset date? Please explain your reasoning. We'll begin with Mr. Gabriel.
I believe that Choices, although a very well-intentioned program, did fail to deliver to the citizens of Alachua County. So at this point, I would say no. I would not be in favor of extending it in its current form. I also believe that although government should be the final safety net for people that have nowhere else to turn for help, that, you know, part of what has gotten us into the situation we are in here in Alachua County is, I believe, trying to do too much for too many people. And in doing that, we have doubled and triplicate and quadrupled our efforts that has unnecessarily driven the cost up to the taxpayers of Alachua County. In my time in High Springs, we provided many services to the community to help the lower income families, to help children with after school programs, and to help seniors that were shut in or did not have family to help them. and we did not have to do that on the backs of the taxpayers. So again, although well-intentioned, I believe that it is not necessarily the role of county government to be doing this and the taxpayers of Alachua County. If they wish to support such an effort, then that is their right, and I encourage you to. I would certainly personally choose to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Pinkerson.
Thank you. The Choices program, as I understand it, as I know it, originally was intended to serve, I believe, when they were doing the preliminary work with the group that was working on the Choices initiative, it was around 2,500 to 2,900 people that they hope to have enrolled. I think currently the enrollment is over 3,000. So in that perspective, from that perspective, it has been a success as far as serving the number of people that they intended it for the program to serve. I think when we originally started the program, I think if somebody supported it or didn't support it, they felt that it was going to be some sort of an insurance program. When it actually was unveiled, what it did was it was more a screening mechanism more than anything else. And since then, we have made modifications so that it actually, in my estimation, does what people thought that it was going to do originally. As far as, and a perfect example is the gentleman who came to us and said that they saw a lesion on his arm. And they identified it, but they couldn't do anything with it. So those are the type of, I believe that when people voted for it, that's what they were looking for. As far as the continuing of choices, it's my understanding that the federal health care program will essentially take care of what Choice is doing currently. So if that is truly the case, then there would be no need to continue on with Choices.
Thank you. Ms. Baird.
Well, from the research I did with the program, from what I had read, they were expecting about 14,000 people to enroll in this program, and right after it got voted in, only 7,000 was actually the projection, and now we only have 3,000 people, and that's after extensive advertising. So when you really look at the numbers, again, although well-intended, I don't know if that was the best use for our hard-earned money. And since it's overfunded, if it's not being used properly, then maybe it's time to go ahead and redirect those funds to something else. And fiscally responsible commissioners would go ahead and make sure that all the funds are being used properly. The other thing, so if it's overfunded, so you look at the alternative of what that money could be used for. It could be used for incentives to bring some more businesses in. More businesses in, more jobs, less people that need, and that can get better benefits, they can get better health care, they can get better services, and provide more for their families. So really, there's just a lot of opportunity costs that a lot of us don't see, that when some money is not used for one particular program, it could be used for another. So I think it's our responsibility to make sure that every dollar that we have in our possession is used properly.
Thank you. Ms. Chestnut.
Thank you. First of all, Choices is a voter-approved initiative approved under a state statute that only allows it to be used by state law for indigent health care. When we crafted Choices, we looked at the working uninsured, people who did not have health care offered by their employer. Now, Choices has been very good for small businesses and economic development in this community, because for small businesses that could not provide health care for their employees, it has been there. We've seen an increase in productivity and a reduction in absenteeism. We started Choices off very fiscally conservative. We looked at not rushing in, providing a program that we would not be sure that could be continued. So we started very conservatively, and we have broadened it. Today, Choices serves about almost 3,400 people for primary care. We have about 7,500 participants per month, because we also provide health and wellness to the community. Yes, I think that the issue is the working uninsured and primary care. When people are sick, can't go to work, it impacts economic development in our community. Whether or not choices will be continued, that I don't know at this point. We have the federal plan will kick in 2014. What is in the federal plan is being unveiled slowly, so we have to see where that falls. But for the 3,400 people who are working, who are participating in choices, and the 7,500 participants each month, they're very grateful that the program is here. And thank you and everyone for supporting it. That supported it.
You'd extend it.
Mary?
Yes.
No, I did not say that. I said we will wait until the federal program will kick in 2014. I don't know what the difference will be. The program cannot be extended without a referendum and without a vote of the people. So you would decide whether or not it was extended.
Thank you.